what is one suggestion that you'll give to everyone who is listening to us, that what should be the framework that they should follow while creating a vision, which now you are seeing that obviously would have got fulfilled then and you would have got a lot of praise, but now you are seeing materializing at such a massive scale in India. So how do you nudge people to think in that direction? What is a framework that we can use so that we're thinking maybe 2 3 and 5 years ahead? Right, today everyone is worried that what would happen with the AI, and this can really be helpful. So yeah, over to you. Would love to understand from you the framework you used then, and what how can we replicate it today.
So the way I look at it, there are two
Hmm.
things or two parts to this story. First
Okay.
part is, are you identifying the right problem to solve? Because when you look at innovation, people
Hmm.
think innovation is a lot about technology. While it is, in my mind,
Hmm.
innovation is A,
Okay.
do you know how to find the right problem?
Understood.
Innovation comes from finding problems. You need to first find the problem to solve.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now
Hmm.
you can argue now that, hey, what about science and technology? Let me then break it. Innovation in the science world, which is a pure research world, comes from what we do, which is R&D labs and everything. Innovation in the business world and in the product world, which is where we are talking about, comes from A, finding the right problem to solve.
Understood.
Two, finding the right solution or technology available to solve that problem.
Understood.
And three, measuring, are you moving it in the right direction quickly?
Understood.
So that
Yeah.
if you need to change, pivot, or do anything, you are doing it fast. These three are the most critical elements.
Understood.
To find the right problem to solve, you need to be close to your customer. And it's like everybody will say the same, right? The way I do that is, I have broadly realized that all consumer problems can be broken down into 4 or 5 fundamental needs.
Awesome.
Need number one, people like to save time. Nobody, if you're creating a product which is saving time disproportionately, they will take a product, they will adopt it. People like to save money. If you save their money, they will save money, generate money. But I'll put it, if you save their money, you will get it. Three, people love to reduce effort. You make them sit more, you make them lie down more, they will take your product.
Yeah.
Four, people love recognition. You give them recognition, they will love your product. You figure out how to do. And five, people like to laugh, cry, or experience emotion. We call it entertainment in one bucket, but they like to experience emotion. If you're able to give them that, they will. So if you look at all the products in the world, all successful products in the world, they inevitably solve for any of these 5 needs that have. They will may solve for one or two, both. Maybe because Uber ended up solving both for time and effort. Time because you got the app, cab. Effort, you don't have to walk to the nearest taxi stand. And later money. They were able to reduce the price. So it became a very successful product.
Yeah.
So you need to, I think the way I put my team and put myself on the radar is, one, when you're doing your consumer research, when you're talking to consumers, when you're talking or doing third party research or secondary research, whatever, try and map all the pain points that the consumer has spoken to any of these 5 needs. If you're able to map clearly and you see there's a problem, you have a solution. If you're not able to map to any of these 5, then you should go back and check if you have the right problem to solve or not.
Understood.
Most innovations fail because they start with a problem which is never a consumer need, not a foundational need. They'll create something fuzzy, and they'll put millions of dollars in this, and then they will realize, oh, it's not a need. Like one of the notorious examples will be an app called Quibi, if you have ever heard.
Yeah.
Quibi
Yeah.
was a short form video format
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
by a Disney executive. Now they
2
spend
billion.
billions, I don't know, like billions of dollars in something like, hey, people if watch it on the mobile, they can flip it, watch it, flip it. But was that ever a need? It was never a found. It is neither saving time, money, effort, nothing for the consumer. So why will you invest billions of dollars? So it's, I think the first step in my mind or framework is, whenever you're finding the consumer need, and it will come from your research, map it down to these five fundamentals. If you see that any of these fundamentals are moving meaningfully,
Hmm.
then you have a great need. You have a good problem to solve. If you're not, then you don't have a good problem to solve. You should go back. Like, that is the best time to go back instead of spending dollars and then realizing it's not. That's step number one. The reason also it is useful is, when you do that laddering and you present that to your leadership stakeholders, they also buy in because they know that you are solving a genuine problem and not a random idea that you have in your mind. Number two is finding the technology. I think it's very critical for a product manager today, because with AI, you need to know what is possible, what is not possible, what is pragmatic, what is not pragmatic, how much it's going to cost. So this is where you start mapping the solutions to this problem. Like 5 6 years ago, Amazon had been trying to create catalog for its sellers for years.
Yep.
Like creating a catalog on Amazon is a very painful process. You have to literally like 50 to say this is the sari size A, size B, size
It's very
C, and
long.
it's a painful, and you can have mistakes.
Yep.
So Amazon has been trying to help sellers auto create it for them, but
That's
had
true.
been it has been miserably failing in trying to do that because the machine learning capabilities was not big enough. So if a product manager was trying it in 2018-19, and it was me who did, we shut it down. We shut down that project. We said no, it's not going to work. It's the technology is not ready. The problem is genuine.
Yep.
It's a genuine problem to solve. It's a big problem to solve. We don't have the technology yet to solve the problem. Cut to 2024-25.
Things.
Obviously, the team is picking it up again because now the
Yeah.
technology is ready to solve the problem. So
Yep.
the second part becomes very critical as a product manager to know when is the right solution. Do you have the right solution at your disposal to
Understood.
solve it? Because that has then, and third part is measurement. See, lot of products get launched, people not knowing whether it is working or not working. It's very important you figure out the measurement, even especially in today's world of AI. Like if you don't do it, you launch something, you don't even know, some customer got a random chat and you will not even know. For example, you launched a conversation bot and the conversation bot sent something to Tapojoy Chatterjee which didn't realize, you will not know unless the consumer comes back to you and says, guys, what are you doing? You are not solving a problem. But most customers won't come back to you. They will just shut down the app and move on. Measuring becomes critical. So generally what I do is I try and cover all these three elements in the
Understood.
document which I present to the leadership. And try and ensure all these points that I spoke to you about. What is the consumer problem? Why do I think it's a consumer problem? How does it map it to a core need? Why do I think it's a problem to be solved now, today? How will I solve the problem? Do we have the technology to solve the problem? What is the impact of the solution and how will I measure the impact? So if you cover all these three, then generally if you've done a good job, either you will self reject the idea and say, hey, it's not working. And I've done tons of ideas where I said, no, I know I love the idea, but it is not working.
Yep.
Move on. Or your research will convince, document will convince the leadership that hey, he or she has done the good job. It seems very pragmatic. So that's generally the framework at least I have used in my life in this case.